about calling it a book. What is an opus and what do you do?
Well, an opus really is the ultimate way of telling iconic stories in publishing form. We often say that, it's what we're trying to do is tell stories, iconic stories, in a way they've never been told before, using great still photography. We still think there's something special about a still photograph that captures the soul of the moment, whether it be a historical moment, whether it be a sporting moment. So what we're trying to do is use scale to tell these stories in a way that's never been told before, in essence.
Pictures worth 1,000 words, as they say in the classics. But the Mandela Opus, Lyndon, it's really a life's work, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. We've been working on it for about 2 years. It actually happened when I walked into the Man United offices in London, and I saw their opus. And I thought, well, if you can do a great team like United, why can't you do an opus on a great man like Mr. Mandela? And then I contacted Karl, and we started working together to produce this great piece of art.
Tell me about the people who are working on this, because I'm very interested. I saw award-winning journalist Ryland Fisher is involved. I saw Benny Gould, whom I know from Cape Town. He's involved, fantastic photographer. Are these the only people that have been involved, and how long have they been involved in this?
We appointed Ryland as the editor, and we have about 31 contributors, most of them journalists, from across the spectrum, people who wrote about Mr. Mandela before, some new, young and fresh journalists as well, because we're thinking of the future. And then we have contributions from about 15 different photographers over the period, people who photographed Mr. Mandela right throughout his life. So it's quite a big team working on it, and I keep them all busy.
It's really the who's who that have worked with Mr. Mandela over the last 25, 30 years, I would think, here in South Africa. But Karl, on the table here in front of us, we've got the book that you've done, the one that's finished. Of course, the Mandela one is not finished. You've brought us the box.
Sure.
But tell us about the Formula One book, and maybe give us an example as to what we can expect from the Mandela Opus.
Well, the Formula One was it was our latest opus. We released a few months ago, and it's really so we could show people this is the scale of the Mandela Opus. In actual fact, if I just show you maybe an example of what we call a gatefold.
Yes.
So this is a 4-page gatefold.
Yeah.
There will be 3 of these in the Nelson Mandela Opus. And as you can see here,
wow, that's an incredible picture.
But what this allows us to do, particularly with the choice photographs that we'll be using in the Mandela Opus, is to show really, poignant moments, historical moments, as the photographer wanted them to be captured. So there's no cropping. Because of the scale, we can really show these in a unique way. And also, if I could say, this scale really resonates well with particularly young children. They're able to come and view the opus in 2s and 3s and 4s, and it makes it a more interesting experience.
Lyndon, there's a lot of different kinds of Nelson Mandela memorabilia out there. How is this going to be a little bit different? Tell us about that, and also tell us about how many of these books are going to be printed, and where will people be able to view them?
Yeah, look, there's a plethora of information and books out there. This is a work of art. It's a collector's item. It's a big book. It's on a large scale. It can tell the story in ways you could never have imagined. You don't have to be concerned about the number of pages to tell a story. You can tell a holistic story. Visually, you can see the effect of it. So we're quite excited about this thing. You'll have gems in here that you've never seen before. Or you'll see some other photographs. Normally, when people photograph, they use one photograph, and there's about 9 or 10 others. We are able to now string them together and tell a story. So I think it will be very unique in that way. We'll produce only 10,000 of these books globally.
On this scale.
On this scale. Globally. And it doesn't mean that all 10,000 will be available in South Africa. In each continent, we will allocate a number of these books to be available. And then we will do a special edition for schools. That we can take this piece of history into all the schools. They always say that history is being told by the victor, and we're not telling enough stories. This will be a great story, with a #1 book, with a #1 man telling a great story.
If I could say also, we're working on a strategy right now. Our dream is that every school in South Africa, we're working on with other partners in other countries as well, but every school in South Africa, as part of the celebrations next year, will have at least one Nelson Mandela Opus in the school environment for children to enjoy. We think that's something really important that we want to try and achieve. We think we will achieve it. We're working on the strategy with partners at the moment, but that's something, something special that we want to try and achieve here in the country.
Finally, Lyndon, I see a lot of big name contributors. Just tell us about the names that will be making written submissions into the book, the likes of the Bransons and the Bill Clintons and so forth?
Yeah, we have a host, and Karl can add to it, but starting with our current president, Jacob Zuma, he's done one, Ahmed Kathrada. We've got inputs from the Bransons, from the Bill Gates, you know, across the globe. Yeah,
we've had a
got
contribution from His Holiness the Pope at the Vatican, which is tremendous. We've had other world leaders. So yeah, it's important to get a diverse mix of contributions from all around the world as well.
An interesting fact, Evan, is in the back of this book, we'll have a list of every honor bestowed on Mr. Mandela, every street named after Mr. Mandela, anything that has been named after him, or any honorary doctorate.
Yeah.
And it will have a list of all of these accolades, and it will go on for a number of pages.
Well, gentlemen, that's fantastic. Thank you very much for joining us. We look forward to this, and hopefully once you publish it, you'll bring the book back and we can have a look and show the people what this book really looks like and what it means to South Africa and Africans in general. Thank you once again for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Quickly, let's just take a look.